It is 3:17 a.m. on June 2, 1944. A single German Tiger tank sits alone in the darkness outside Villers-Bocage, France. Inside, SS Obersturmführer Michael Wittmann, age 30, watches through his periscope as the largest Allied armored column he has ever seen rolls past his position. 137 tanks, 200 half-tracks, thousands of men. The entire British 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats, veterans of North Africa, moving in perfect formation toward the German lines. They are 5 days past D-Day. The invasion is succeeding. The Allies are breaking out. If this column reaches the German rear positions, the entire defensive line collapses. Normandy falls. France falls. Germany falls. Wittmann counts the vehicles passing below his hidden position. He counts the spacing between tanks. He counts the seconds between radio transmissions. His crew waits in absolute silence. His gunner, Balthazar Wohl, sits with his hand on the firing mechanism. His loader, ready with an 88 armor-piercing round. His driver, engine idling so quietly the British cannot hear. Wittmann has destroyed 138 enemy tanks in his career. He is the most successful tank commander in German military history. He has survived the Eastern Front, Kursk, the Russian winter. He knows tank combat better than any man alive. And he knows something the British commanders do not know, something that will define the next 2 hours. A column is not an army. A column is a target. The British are moving in parade formation. Tank behind tank, vehicle behind vehicle, perfect spacing, perfect discipline. The lead tanks are half a mile ahead of the rear guard. Radio communication is minimal to maintain operational security. Officers are confident, relaxed. They are 5 days past the invasion. The Germans are retreating. This is a pursuit, not a battle. But Wittmann sees what they cannot see from inside their column. They have created a traffic jam of armor. If the lead tank stops, the entire column stops. If one vehicle blocks the road, 137 tanks become immobile targets sitting in a single line. He makes his decision at 3:19 a.m. 2 minutes of observation. A lifetime of experience, one impossible calculation. Forward, fast as possible. His driver does not question. The Tiger's Maybach engine roars to life. 700 horsepower, 56 tons of German steel accelerating from a standing start. The tank crashes through the hedgerow directly into the middle of the British column. The British see a single German tank appear from nowhere at point-blank range. There is no time to rotate turrets, no time to load guns, no time to radio for support. Wittmann's gunner fires. The first Sherman explodes. 5 seconds later, the second Sherman explodes. 8 seconds later, a half-track disintegrates. Wittmann is not fighting, he is executing. His Tiger moves down the column like a shark through a school of fish. Every British vehicle is facing the wrong direction. Their guns are pointed forward, toward where they expect the enemy to be. Wittmann is behind them, beside them, among them. His 88 gun fires at ranges so close the barrel is almost touching enemy armor. The British column stops moving entirely. Traffic jam complete. Tank commanders climb out of their hatches to see what is happening. They see their vehicles burning. They see a single Tiger tank moving through their formation like a ghost. They try to organize a defense, but the column cannot move. Tanks cannot reverse. Half-tracks cannot turn around. They are trapped by their own formation, boxed in by their own vehicles. Wittmann reaches the town of Villers-Bocage. The lead elements of the British column have stopped here for tea, breakfast, a moment of rest. British officers are standing outside their tanks in the town square, discussing maps, planning the day's advance, smoking cigarettes in the morning sun. Wittmann's Tiger appears at the end of the main street. The British officers stare in disbelief. A single German tank, alone, in the middle of their entire division. The Tiger's gun rotates, fires. The lead Cromwell tank explodes in the town square. Wittmann moves forward, fires again. Another Cromwell destroyed. A Sherman Firefly, the British tank with a gun powerful enough to kill a Tiger, tries to get into position. Wittmann's gunner destroys it before it can fire. For 15 minutes, Wittmann owns Villers-Bocage completely. He destroys every tank in the town square. He crushes half-tracks under his treads. He fires into buildings where British infantry are taking cover. The entire British advance stops, not because of an army, because of one tank, one crew. One man who understood that courage without hesitation defeats organization without awareness. But Wittmann has made a mistake, the same mistake every successful commander makes. He has pushed his luck too far. He is alone. Deep inside enemy territory, surrounded by thousands of British soldiers, His ammunition is running low, his fuel is half empty, his crew is exhausted. The British begin to recover from the shock. Anti-tank guns are moved into position. Infantry with PIAT rockets creep through the buildings. A Sherman Firefly commander hidden in a side street finally gets a clear shot at Wittmann's Tiger from the side where the armor is thinner. The shell punches through. The Tiger lurches. Smoke. Wittmann's driver struggles with the controls. The engine sputters. They are hit but not dead, damaged but still mobile. Wittmann makes another decision in seconds, retreat, now, before they are surrounded completely. The Tiger reverses out of Villers-Bocage, firing as it withdraws. British tanks try to pursue but their column is still jammed. Burning vehicles block the roads. The confusion is total. Wittmann's Tiger disappears back into the French countryside, trailing smoke, damaged but alive. He returns to German lines at 6:45 am, 3.5 hours after the attack began. His crew climbs out of the tank, exhausted, covered in sweat and smoke. Wittmann reports to his commanders. The British 7th Armoured Division has been stopped completely. The entire advance has halted. The Desert Rats, veterans of North Africa, have been paralyzed by a single tank. The final count is confirmed over the following hours. Wittmann destroyed 14 tanks, 15 personnel carriers, 2 anti-tank guns. Alone. In a single engagement. But the numbers do not capture what actually happened. He did not just destroy vehicles. He destroyed confidence. He destroyed momentum. He destroyed the British belief that the breakthrough was inevitable. The 7th Armored Division does not advance for 3 days. 3 critical days when the German army reinforces Normandy, when panzer divisions arrive from the east, when the defensive line stabilizes. 3 days that extend the Normandy campaign by weeks. Thousands of casualties on both sides, directly traceable to those 2 hours when one tank stopped an entire army. Wittmann becomes an instant legend. Goebbels' propaganda machine makes him the face of German resistance. The man who stopped the British, the hero of Villers-Bocage. He receives the Knight's Cross with oak leaves and swords. He is promoted, celebrated, photographed. Interviewed, but Wittmann knows something the propagandists do not understand. He knows that what he accomplished at Villers-Bocage cannot be repeated. It worked because of surprise, because of British complacency, because of a single perfect moment of opportunity. Lightning does not strike twice. On August 8, 1944, 2 months after Villers-Bocage, Wittmann is commanding a Tiger near Caen. The Allies have learned. They do not move in parade formations anymore. They coordinate air support with ground attacks. They use overwhelming firepower instead of elegant columns. Wittmann's Tiger is hit by a British Sherman Firefly at long range. The shell penetrates the ammunition storage. The Tiger explodes with such force that the turret is blown 30 feet from the chassis. Wittmann and his entire crew are killed instantly. He is 30 years old. He has been a legend for 67 days. The British advance continues. The German line collapses. Normandy falls. France falls. The war moves toward its inevitable conclusion. But for 2 hours on June 2, 1944, one man in one tank changed the mathematics of an entire campaign. This is what Villers-Bocage teaches us. Not just about 1944, about every moment when individual action confronts systemic power. Wittmann succeeded because he understood something profound. Systems are powerful, but systems have vulnerabilities. The British column was organized, disciplined, overwhelming, but it was also predictable, inflexible, vulnerable to disruption. One man who understands the system's weakness can paralyze the entire system, but only for a moment, only if the timing is perfect, only if he is willing to risk everything. Wittmann risked everything at Villers-Bocage. He won. And then 2 months later, the same courage, the same tactics, the same willingness to attack against impossible odds killed him. The lesson is not that courage defeats systems. The lesson is that courage can disrupt systems, but disruption is temporary. The system learns, the system adapts, the system eventually wins, but in that moment of disruption, in those 2 hours when one tank stopped an army, history changes. Individual action matters, not because it defeats the system permanently, but because it forces the system to adapt, to slow down, to reconsider. Wittmann did not win the war, but he changed its timeline. He bought days that became weeks. He proved that one person who understands the moment can alter the mathematics of power. Thanks for watching World War II Ember. If this story of one tank against an army gave you chills, if you felt that moment when Wittmann crashed through the hedgerow into history, Smash that like button and subscribe for more forgotten World War II stories about when individual courage disrupted overwhelming systems. Tell us in the comments, have you ever seen one person disrupt an entire organization by understanding its weakness? Where are you watching from? What other impossible World War II moments should we explore next? Your support helps us bring these powerful forgotten stories to everyone who wants to understand how history really happens.